Good morning, everyone.
Good
Hello and
morning.
welcome. Hi, Jeryl.
Teri, good morning.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Morning, believe.
Okay.
I believe it is a new day and it's going to be an amazing one. What do you all believe today? What are we intending? Jeryl, what kind of day are you intending for?
I'm intending for a very busy, productive day today. I am solid from the time we get from now till about 6 o'clock tonight. So I'm excited. It's just we went from that we were busy before, but it's a different kind of busy. People are coming back and it's just fun. It's fun. You've got a great day coming up with your workshops and master class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be all day on the computer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to get up and jump up and down in between to keep my stamina going. We got people jumping on. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Oh, good
Hi.
morning. I see all of your beautiful comments.
Hi.
Deirdre, Etta, Stacy, Carol, Luann. Hi, and Susan.
Lovely. Okay, I'm going to get my other phone out. We're on Enlightened Living as well today. We have quite a few
Okay.
there,
Yes,
Scarlett and
we do.
Lily,
Oh, hi, Scarlett. Hi, Lily. Um, and
Stacy.
Gabby.
Hi, Etta. How are you this morning?
So if
We're-
y'all will help us share this, please, that will help. Share, share, share.
Okay.
I don't see Wendy yet, but I'm not going to put it into the group until I know that she hasn't. So we're taking a moment to share.
Good
Deirdre,
morning, Sally.
I love that. Deirdre says, I come to the table with my cosmic dress on. Wink, wink. You and Dr. Ruth rocked it last night. You absolutely
Aw,
did. That was amazing, that show.
she is such an incredible person. And thank you for that compliment. I really appreciate that. She's given me some homework to do today, so I part of that is to go back and watch the show, and so I don't do that very well. I really don't like watching myself on camera all that much. So thank you for that compliment because it'll help me. And oh my gosh, Jean and Julie. Well, hello, brother John. How are you this morning?
Oh
John
no,
patio.
John's not in the house.
Yes, yes.
Woo! What did we do to deserve him getting up early?
I know. That's awesome. He's never up this early.
No, he isn't. Hi, John. We're so glad you're here. We'll back off of giving you a hard time for just a minute, okay? And I'll say hello to those that I missed: Julie and Jean, L'Oreal, Sally De La Rosa,
And good morning, Diana.
Diana in the house.
Yes.
I'm trying to share this on my page and it's not happy. Why are you not happy?
Okay.
Okay, I could. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. All right. Now I get both sets. Yay. And good morning, Becky. Okay. How come my sound isn't going on? There we go. There. That worked. uh, it is another rainy day here in North Central Florida. I'll tell you, I know we need it, but I would just love for just a little bit of sunshine to sneak in there somewhere. Be really nice. And Christina Leftwich is with us. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Christina. Christina, if you would let me know that you got the information for the class today. Today's class is opening up the clairs, the clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience. We're going to be doing some fun stuff in there today. So I hope that you got your information. We've got a full group in there too. So there's still time. If anybody wants to jump in last minute, you can let me know and I'll get you in. Rosa Albert, good morning, darling, and Marcia Gifford.
Good morning. Good.
Oh, and I'm seeing my angel.
Yeah, they had to go out for a little bit.
I miss her.
Yeah, Daddy's been taking him out a little bit more. He needs to have that balance between getting up and moving around. And speaking of Sam, I want to thank everybody once again. He woke up this morning and his leg swelling is down even more today. And luckily it's raining out because that kind of helps keep him down and off of his feet. My husband he hits the ground running at about 5 a.m. and doesn't stop all day. So the rain has been good for that and for the plants. Uh, do you see Gabby's comment? She wanted to say something right away.
Okay. She says, okay, straight up, I have something I want to put out there. No, no usual for me to make statements like this, but upon waking this morning, I felt a definite shift in Gaia's energy. Now that you have all awoken, anyone feel anything? I felt that shift starting yesterday, Gabby, actually, and it felt very strong. And then after we did that 7 generation healing that was so intense yesterday, it felt even stronger. So I've heard this morning from Deirdre that some of the protesters were forming dance lines and dancing together. What a great way to raise the energy and raise the frequency. There's a shift happening, people. And I know that it's the prayers, the intentions that are going out, not just from us. We're a small part of the world, but everyone wants change and they want peace and they want those shifts. So let's keep doing what we're doing. Just keep it up. That's what I have to say about that. Oh, thank you, Christine. I'm going to write that down so I can send you the information. We want you in there. And I wanted to go back up and read Edda's comment and say good morning to Becky Beckner. I see you just above Edda's comment. So Prachir and I are better after a lovely, lovely talk with Teri yesterday. It was so, so beautiful and encouraging. Teri, ma'am, Prachir and I were absolutely speechless. Lots of love. Thank you, honey.
That's
Yes,
lovely.
it's amazing to put a smile on somebody's face or to shift the energy so that they can find that smile. And that's what we did. And Jean, you got your information. Good. I'm so glad. I know. I think Ruth was the one that got you in there finally. We didn't have you in the system, but now you are. No, you didn't cause any problem, honey. We just needed to know that you didn't have your information. And Carol, you got yours and all the handouts. Good. Good morning, Lillian.
Hi, Lily.
Okay, so I just need to write down this email.
Lillian says it is so strong energies now and even stronger yesterday, especially in the heart area. Anyone else notice? Yeah. Yes, I actually have had a lot of high heart, and throat chakra activation here over the last few days. Um, Namaste, Prachir. It's so nice to see you this
Hi,
morning.
Pachir.
And Ago Renee is with us again.
Morning, darling. And we have a messenger thread with John and a couple of other light workers, and she always shares our lives in there. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for joining in with us today. Good morning. And Sally says, we are changing the way everyone views life. It's becoming more about love than hate. It's going to take more pulling together to tie up all the loose ends. It really is, absolutely. On our next Broader Edge broadcast, I will be leading the discussion. And I want to talk about what is it that we want. I feel like we all want something. We all want change in some way. What do we want, and how do we see that coming to be? what can we do? What is the action we can take to make that change come about? So I'm working on that along with a million other things that I have going. But yeah, but I think that's the whole thing, isn't it? We need a GPS, and we have to put a destination in that GPS to get us to where we want to go. So everybody's just start thinking about what is that change? What's the change you want to see come about? And I think it's being formed. There are a lot of initiatives out there, a lot of things that are spelling out, we want this, we want this. But what is it that the collective overall, what do we want to see? So let's think about that. And I'd love your input on that as well.
And Gabby said she had massive joy today, couldn't stop smiling. Even an aggressive real estate agent who actually confronted me couldn't rattle me. Laugh out loud. That's wonderful.
That is wonderful.
Yeah. And Etta does ask, how's your brother doing, Terry? That thank you for remembering that, Etta.
Yes, thank you so much for remembering that. He's staying with my sister right now. She is a physician's assistant, so he pretty much is under 24/7 doctor's care. Thank you. I talked to him yesterday. He's sore, but he's doing well. He's feeling better because all that pain is going from where he had stones, gallstones in his pancreas, and the surgery that they did was a high risk surgery because it could have damaged it and he could have pancreatitis due to that. So thank you all so much for holding him up in prayer. I know he certainly appreciates it.
And good morning, Erica. And Becky is with us this morning, and Tony.
Good morning. And Sharon Boyle just popped in. Hi, everybody. And Sally says that's going to be a great show. Yeah, that Broader Edge show, it started out with the four of us just sitting around. We were doing a mastermind group, and we just were sitting around and we were having these deep discussions, and it just popped out, let's do this and take it public, so other people can join in the thought process. So I love it, and it's every other week on Thursdays for any of you that haven't caught that yet. Cheer, I was, whoops, where'd you go? I was attending a webinar about knowing children better through handwriting. It was just beautiful. Wow, that is amazing. You know, what was it, Geraldine? A few years ago, I think they stopped teaching cursive in school.
Yes.
And to me, that just does not make any sense at all. Because when you write out something, you put your energy in that. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, there are a few schools that have brought it back, limited amounts. But yeah, I agree. I think that the education system is going to have to change. And maybe that's one of the changes that will happen with more homeschooling now because the kids to aren't able to be in school. Maybe the parents will kind of take over. Maybe this is one of the roles of the new roles of the parents is to teach them some of these things that the educational system in our country are kind of letting go by the wayside. I hope. I think it's a shame. I gave a card to our young neighbor boy, and it was kind of half cursive and half print. And
Hmm.
his mom had to read it to him because he couldn't read it at all. He had
That's
no
so
idea what it
sad.
said.
I
So,
love your idea, Gerald Ann. For the parents to get more involved, it is going to take a lot. And I don't remember where I read this. I think it might have been a post on Facebook, even that um, one of the children wrote in cursive, and the teacher failed the paper that they turned in, gave them an F. And I'm like, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand that whole thought process. But I love what you're saying. And yeah, let's really create the world that we want to see. That's what I'm feeling.
and good morning, Sharon. I'm so happy to see you this morning. Oh, a lot of master numbers here too. Lily said, this weekend I have had to myself only and been taking care of myself for a change. Slept and listened to music and relaxed. That is, I'm so glad to hear that, Lily. I really
Me
am.
too.
Yeah.
Me too. That's great because I know, Lily, you go through a lot over there, and sometimes you feel like you're all alone. I feel like you're so far, but I want to just bring you here in their midst, and we are. We do that every morning when you come on here.
Hi, Sherry Seymour. Good
Good
morning.
morning, Terry. Uh-oh.
Morning. How can I help?
We said her name, and Siri popped up. Wanted to know how she could help us. Well,
Oh,
isn't that the question of the day, right?
yeah, it is. It is. And John said, yes, I had to make another one of those decisions based in self love and self respect by disconnecting from someone. Follow the heart. Yeah, I love
Always follow your
that, John.
heart. Yeah,
Absolutely.
always. John, I'm so glad you're with us this morning.
I am too.
Oh, and I love your comment, John. You guys look trim eating alligator meat. We were just having a
Yes.
conversation before the show about that. Not about alligator meat, for sure.
Yeah,
But Geraldine, I think you might have some alligator meat, do you?
I do indeed. Yes, I have a whole bottom shelf freezer full of gator meat. And I'm honestly, I'm not a big fan. I mean, I'll eat a piece occasionally here and there, and I make just awesome gator. But no, it's just not one of my. I'm not all that crazy about it, and I have a feeling now that I've gotten to know my alligators personally, it will be way more difficult for me to have another bite of gator tail. So
Isn't that true?
yeah.
You just clicked a memory in me. I grew up on a farm, so we had, the chickens and the animals, and I got really close as a child to a duck. And then one day the duck was on the kitchen table, and I'm like, I am not eating that. I was so sad and really hurt because that duck was gone. So we do. We When we think about what we're eating, and I started that as a young child. Think about what you're eating, and what is that? And like you said, I not only do I not like the alligator meat, but I feel for all creatures and especially them. And so it's a conscious decision, I think, what we put in our mouth.
I
And
think it
really,
is. I agree with you. You know, there's a lot of comments here that's kind of following up on the cursive writing and just children, I think, in general. Um,
good.
you know, John's talking about teaching kids mindfulness and kindness, and Becky adds in compassion.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, Karen Palmer goes into the schools and teaches the kids meditation and mindfulness. She's amazing at working with children, and her and Sharon Rhea have worked together on different coloring books for kids.
mhm.
And Sharon is such an amazing person. She has the No Judgment, Just Love organization that she has created. And I know, Geraldine, you had her on your Rising Up show.
Yeah,
She's beautiful.
yeah, she's remarkable. Carol says that her daughter is teaching her children cursive writing.
Good.
And I do think we're going to see this more and more. You know, there was talk about separation of church and state. There was oftentimes, at least even when I was helping raise my niece, that her homework was so far above me that Frank, my partner at the time, would have to help her. But you know, it we I see parents in the past that have helped their children, but now with the virus, they literally were doing virtual schools in their homes. So parents have been more involved and pulled into that process. So I think this is hopefully a good opportunity for them to assess and see really firsthand what's going on in the school systems and where they might be able to step up or, shift things a little bit, just like Carol's daughter is teaching cursive.
I love that. Thank you, Carol, for sharing that. I want to read Deirdre's comment because I did ask the question earlier, what do we want? How do we know what we want even and how we can take part in it? And Deirdre says, the change I want to see is that we become a people that is liberty and justice for all, for a broader wish to finally have a brotherhood of man, woman. And I'm right there with you, girl. That equality for all, and it's going to take a lot of change for that to happen because it's not there. I mean, let's all be honest, it's not there. There is not equality for all, and that's my wish as well, that there is, and that we can see each other as our spiritual being. And once we start doing that, once more people awaken to that fact that I'm no different than you, you're no different than me, and look at each other in that light instead of the color of the skin or the language that you speak, the nationality that you are. Let's stop putting people in boxes just because they look different. There's no separation in the grand scheme of things.
Absolutely. Well said. Pratima is with us this morning. Good morning, Pratima. There's so many comments.
I know, Carol. Wow. Carol had a restless night. She woke up at 1:11, 2:22, 3:33. I was also woken up by a spoken name, Leland. I asked if Leland was a guide, but did not get an answer. I Googled Leland and got The Fall of an Angel, Billy Leland. Interesting.
Yeah, I heard of him. I've heard of him. I think there was some stuff on Facebook that was going around about a year or so ago about him. It's kind of in the back of my mind.
It's new to me, so I'll have to get more information about that. Don't you love it when we hear something new and we're like,
Yes.
I want to know more information about that?
And this, there's so many, but I want to say kudos and a shout out to Sharon Boyle. She was so brave and did a live healing last night and chat at the end. I I have to tell you, it was such a busy day. And then with my show last night, but right before I went to sleep, I was scrolling through and I saw it. And it was like, okay, that's on my list today to go back and watch. I'm so proud of you, Sharon.
I'm
I,
very
you are so amazing. I'm so happy you're letting everyone see your light. I
yes.
really am.
New. I know she finished up just before your show. I saw her pop into yours and say hello.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the other thing I have to do is go back and watch my show. It's my show isn't like this. It's not so interactive because I'm interviewing someone and really getting the information. I try to keep track of the comments, but it's kind of tough to keep track of the comments and really be fully engaged with your guests. So I'll be going back today and going through them and responding to everyone. And I do appreciate it. It's so heartwarming to see everybody's names when you're there because it looks easy, but you're putting yourself out there all the time, and it can be kind of scary sometimes. So thank you for the support.
Beautiful show. So if any of you missed it, you can catch it at Enlightened World Network. You can also go on YouTube to Enlightened World Network, and Jeryl Ann has a playlist on there called Rising Up with Jeryl Ann. And you can catch all of her shows if you missed any of them. They're all there. Okay, so Gabby says, I would wish for the change to be in the way we treat Gaia, for all her inhabitants, every soul treated with love. Imagine how beautiful life would be. Yes, absolutely. I think John Lennon had that in mind when he sang that song, Imagine. Imagine all the people living in harmony. I would love that. That's my everyday prayer. And I am a peace ambassador for the state of Florida. And that's every day I wish for that, not only in my state here, but in all over the world, everywhere.
Wow. And good morning, Barb Niederkorn. It's nice to see you again this morning.
Hey, Barb.
And
And Susan Littlefield says, I listened to a 2 hour Billy Joel concert. It was on Facebook yesterday, last night. Wow, I missed that, but I love Billy Joel. Very uplifting.
uh, and there's a lot of conversation about the children. And Julie says, I've been waiting to be a grandmother forever. My daughters feel that the world is so unstable, they do not want to bring children in the world. It breaks my heart. I do respect their decision, but it still hurts. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a little more common these days. People are scared.
Hmm. Yeah. That when we can move through that fear and bring in the love, love will move out the fear quickly. And anything that we can do to raise our vibration, like listening to that Billy Joel concert or chanting. And Karen Palmer and I talked last night, and we're going to do 40 days of chanting. And it's chanting to bring in our connection to spirit higher and to break through obstacles. So, if anyone wants to join in with us, I haven't checked in with Karen this morning, but I think we might start tonight. So, I'll let you all know when that's going to be and where it's going to be because we haven't even made that decision yet. But it's something we're going to do. She just finished 40 days of chanting herself and she wants to start it back up. So that's what we're going to do. There's two different chants that we're going to do and I'm excited. I used to chant. That's how I met some of the people I know, like Jason Watts. I met him through a chanting group. Lisa Joe Davis was in that group. So I made some really beautiful connections as we were in a group together chanting. So, yeah, if anybody wants to join in, and I thought of you, Prachir and Etta, that you might want to join us with our chants. I would love that.
And
And
just
I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Gabby asked the question. She says, just out of curiosity, how many of us don't eat meat? I eat more fish than I do meat. I'm following a keto diet, and I know Jeryl you are as well. And so I have a little app that I plug in all of my food that I'm putting in my body every day. And fish, especially, is one of the best things I can do because it is high in protein and low in all the other, in fat and in carbs. So that's my choice, is to go with fish, tuna fish. I love fresh fish, so I usually run down to the grocery store every few days and get some stock up on some fresh fish. But that's my preference, is to go more with that. And we'll be talking in my Claire's class today about how important it is to watch what you put in your body because it does affect your third eye. So, yeah, so I'm very conscientious right now about everything that's going in my body. Geraldine, any thoughts about eating meat?
Yeah, well, yeah, sorry. I do want to say that our dear Wendy, who is one of our moderators, I just saw a message from her and she's been in a lot of pain this morning. So please keep her. I know we're getting close to prayer request time. So please keep Wendy Roberts in your prayers. She's going through some pain and won't be here this morning with us. So she's going to take, something and try to get on top of that. So, yeah, I do a lot of fish. In fact, that's what I had for lunch yesterday. Was we're very fortunate because that river behind me provides us with a lot of fish and shrimp. And I have found that as time goes on, my body is less likely to want to eat meat. And I have this consciousness going on that when I made a whole chicken, and I have to tell you, it kind of bothered me because I was holding this chicken and I thought, okay, um, this was on the ground walking around, and so I must say right now I'm starting to have some conflict about the whole meat situation. So this is going to be a big thing for me in the future, like in the immediate future, for me to go within and start to figure out what's going to be best for me. It's this is not an easy decision, I don't think, for anyone. I think it's one of those decisions that, because we are so conditioned a certain way, that and I'm facing that for the first time. So thank you. I think a lot of us, especially now that the vibratory rate is raising in some ways, that this is something that we're all going to get to kind of start thinking about more and more.
It is, and it's a personal decision. And I think the more conscious we are about the fact that everything is energy, and we do need energy for these bodies to survive, but let's look at everything that's living and see if, is that something that we want to contribute to that. We do want to bring that into us. And I love Deirdre's comment. She says, when I speak to my friends who still eat meat, I tell them I no longer eat flesh. That shifts their focus real quick.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to put anything out there saying, don't do this. Just to really look at your choices, look at the consciousness, and see if how it feels with you, how you resonate. And you may be perfectly fine eating meat, and that's okay. There
Yeah.
is no judgment here, but it is a personal choice, and it's one that I've been really, really looking at lately, and contemplating. And the more research that I do about the pineal gland and what all affects it, even like toothpaste. We're going to talk about that today in the class. So there's a lot that we can do to shift our consciousness and to open up our energy more to the higher realm by the nutrition that we put in our body. Very important discussion to have.
And one of the things that I do, regardless, is say a blessing over everything I eat, whether it's plant based, animal based, it doesn't really matter what it is, to show gratitude for the nutrition that we're taking into our bodies. Because if we do that, we're changing the vibration of the food that we're eating, and that's what we're putting into our bodies. So that is one conscious change that I've made. And I don't, you don't have to, like, if you go to a restaurant or you got people around you, you don't have to make a big deal out of it. You can just sit there and just in your own heart and in your own mind, bless your food, thank your food for the nutritional value, for how it's allowing your body to thrive and exist. So I find that's really made a difference as well.
It really does, Jeryl Ann. And I can't remember the name of the book. It's written by Rhonda Byrne, and it came after The Secret. After she wrote that book, she wrote a book, and every chapter was for you to focus on something in your life. And one of those was the food that you eat. And the way that she had us do the exercise was not just say thank you for this food and bless the food, but you blessed every part of that food. So let's say you did eat meat. You blessed the farmer that raised that animal. You blessed the ground that they were on, the grass that they ate or whatever they ate. So every part that went into that, and then the people that slaughtered it, the people that fixed it for you, the people that sold it to you at the grocery store, all of it. You blessed everything, and you consciously thought about that whole process of bringing that food to your plate in front of you. And that was such a miraculous thing to do. And you did it, I can't remember how many days. I'll have to look up the name of that book, because it was an amazing thing to go through that journey. And maybe somebody knows the name of it. It's Rhonda Byrne is the author. And what a great way to get in touch with everything in your life, not just nutrition. We worked on like relationships and all kinds of stuff. So I'll find the name of it and put it in the group for everyone.
I really love that.
I know we have so many comments, don't we?
Yeah, we do. There's
Conversation today.
kind of like bounces back and forth between the kids and the food, and there was one comment, and I would like to address is about organic versus genetically modified foods. And one of the other changes that I made a couple of years ago was to shift my kitchen to organic and non-GMO foods. And people say, well, it costs a lot more. uh, but in all of the channelings that I've heard and seen as we're making this transition, part of for me personally, part of that transition is going to, whether it's grass-fed, organic, humanely sustainable foods. And I'll go in and I will look at the packaging and to see, was it, I won't buy anything that comes from any of the food farms, if you will, the ones that the major corporations that are so inhumanely treating our animals. So my my shift and my process has been to go organic, non-GMO, and that's not easy where I live because I have to travel almost, in some cases, 2 hours to go to a store that carries like a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's or something of that nature. It used to be Earth Fare. I loved Earth Fare. Um, because we don't have where I live, there's not a lot of access. It's getting better. So what I eat is very limited if I want to eat organic and non-GMO. So that is another, I think, conscious choice we can make. And what I have found, Terry, I don't know if you have, because I know you really pay attention to what you put in your body, but the higher the quality of food that we put in our body, being organic and all of that, the less we have to eat because we are giving our bodies nutrition. If we're giving it depleted, mass produced, manufactured stuff, and also the vibratory rate of those animals that are being so inhumanely treated, it makes a big difference in our bodies. It really does.
It really does, Geraldine. And looking at what's in the food, I stopped eating processed food a couple of years ago. You got me on that path, which I'm so grateful for. um, I just, anything that's processed, I don't have that. I just have all natural and raw and lots of veggies and protein. So just looking at what's in it. And one of the things that I'm doing now for protein is bone broth, which you also, have brought up many times as we've had
Love it.
nutrition discussions. And it is a really good way to get the protein that your body needs and not have to eat the meat, which sometimes can sit really heavy inside. I wanted to say good morning to Rosie. Rosie Delfinos Shapiro is in the house. Good morning. And everyone else that jumped in as we've been having this really wonderful discussion. And thank you all for all of your comments. I don't think we have time to read every comment, but we are seeing them.
Oh, we are.
And I did type in that it is prayer request time, and some people have started putting in your prayer requests, and thank you for doing that.
And Sally asked, do you think that this is part of an ascension? I feel we are going to be made aware of what we consume. Yeah, I think so, Sally. Terry, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I'm going to be teaching this in a little bit today, but everything that we do, whether it's, meditating, raising our consciousness, the food that we put in our body, everything is bringing us to that place where we're clearing out the old 3D patterns, the old 3D ideology and paradigm, and we're moving toward that ascended place of the 5D energy. And part of the reasoning for the seventh generation clearing also is to let go of all of that old heaviness of the 3D, and we call on Metatron and Sandalphon, the archangels, to help us connect with that paradigm, with that crystalline grid of both the earth and uh, God, the 5D crystalline grid from above. So this is all part of the process of ascension, and we're all feeling that urge right now, aren't we? Anybody else that's feeling that urge to purge? We're purging all of that stuff that we don't need, that we can't carry forward into a 5D reality. So that's my thought on it, is the more we can do in any way to help our bodies and our minds get moving forward into that 5D, the better we're going to be and the easier it's going to be to accept it.
Absolutely. And Gabby says, I would like to put in a prayer healing request for my big boy Jed today, please. He has an injury on his nose that he keeps opening up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, we got some prayer requests coming in. Did you see the one from Sherry? Um, Sherry Seymour?
no, I did not.
Sorry, I had to take a phone call. My friend Lisa Beatty just called, and her stepmother, Mary Jarvis' husband died early this morning. Prayers for all, please. Absolutely, Sherry.
Yeah. Okay. And John says he's eating way less meat as well. So is Lily, says she's listening to what her body wants. And one of the things that in fact, you taught me the sway test, but there's muscle testing. And uh, Ruth talked about where we do this and muscle test, and you can do the body sway test. In fact, Teri, maybe you'll share that with everyone. But you can muscle test, or kinesiology is another name for that, for virtually everything, for the foods we put in our bodies, the supplements we put in our bodies, the thoughts we have, the ideas we have, knowing if there's spirit with us and who that spirit might be. This is a good way, and she taught us that last night. But I find, for me personally, the sway test is easier. Then I can take, like, if it's something, a thing, I can put it up to my body. Teri, would you like to explain that to people, what the sway test is?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can probably do a short video to explain it to you on post that in the group. It's called the energy alignment method. And it is exactly what it says. It shows you if you're in alignment with the energy that you are considering. So let's say you're considering eating something and you hold it in your hand and you ask that question. Now, your body is going to tell you a yes or a no, and that's coming from your subconscious, from your higher self. So, the way the sway test works, and if any of you are able to, you can do it right now. You stand up and you have your feet shoulder width apart, getting very balanced. Take a deep breath in so that you're centered, and then you ask your body a yes or no question. Now, to get what your answers are, whether it's a yes or a no, you're going to ask first a question that you know the answer is yes. So a lot of people use their name, like, is my name Teri? And then you would just let your body do the answer. You don't force it. You don't just make yourself go forward or back. You just let your body answer that question. Whichever way that moves, that's a yes. And then you ask the question uh, that you know is a no. So is my name Jeryl Ann? And your body should move in a different direction. That's how you get your base, your yes or no answers. You can ask your body anything that you want to ask it and put it in a yes or no form, and it's going to respond. It's going to tell you. So if you want to know if a food is good for you, then just ask and let your body tell you. I love the sway test. I learned this many years ago, and I've taught it in webinars and in seminars. So it's a beautiful way and a simple way to really let your body guide you, let your higher self guide you. So thank you, Gerald Ann, for bringing that up, because I want everybody to know it. I want everybody to know
Yeah.
the tools that we have to work with. And yeah, I had done that one with this as well, and this one works really well.
Yeah, it does. And I think that's the thing that this is part of this time. There's so much information out there. I mean, whether it's food, whether it's processes, healing, it doesn't matter what it is. There's so much information that it can get really confusing. So I find that the sway test or muscle testing just brings it right down to, because what's good for me might not be good for you. There are some people who just can't eat meat of any type, period. They cannot digest it, or they can't eat dairy, all types of things. So I would strongly, and you did a reading for me in the last year, that when I was asking about my diet, and my my team said, don't follow any specific program. Follow your body. Ask your body. It will tell you what works for you and what doesn't. And I've done that. And I'm getting ready to make another shift in my body, saying, okay, it's time to make another change. I don't know what that's going to be, but I'll do that sway test you taught me, and that's what's going to lead me.
Yeah,
um,
it will. Your body will lead you. And I saw, I think it was Gabby's comment, an Indian lady told me that bone broth is the best thing for your skin also. And yeah, there's an overall value of the nutrition that we put in our body. And if it's not good for us and it's not setting well in our system, it's going to show. It'll show physically in how you look and the texture of your skin as well. So thank you for that comment.
and we have a lot of prayer requests. We do have one, I Sherry put in quite a bit ago. She said, prayers for me, please, as I'm preparing my body and mind to go to Sundance ceremony in South Dakota this week, please. That sounds amazing. Please keep us posted on what that is and how that kind of what that looks like, and maybe some pictures to the group, Sherry, and safe travels.
Yeah, and I'm saying, take me, take me.
Yeah.
I'd be right there with you, girl. And John Fiore, I just want to say, John, I love you so much. He is just a bright ball of light, isn't he? When
Yes.
John comes into the room, there is a smile that just is put out on the energy of the room. And I just love his humor. He says, save a chicken, eat eggplant parm.
I know.
Now, that is my favorite
Absolutely.
Italian food. I want you to know. I
Oh,
love eggplant parm. I love eggplant. It's just a wonderful food.
yeah. He's had a few guests, he says, on healthy, mindful products we put on our bodies: cosmetics, deodorant, shampoo, toothpaste. Be aware of toxins. Yeah. I think that's just it. We're so we were raised, to um, to make things easier, and the more, there was so much chemical added. So I think we're moving back to the more natural and organic and unprocessed.
Yeah,
I feel better anyway. I don't eat any processed foods at all.
yeah, I don't either.
Oh, except for my sugar-free cupcakes. That is a box mix. I'm sorry, but I'm really good about my body, but they're just that I need some sweet treat that just is the occasional cupcake. So yeah, that is
Well,
processed.
and guess what?
What?
Publix carries that mix.
Oh, oh, yay.
Yeah, we have it in our store here. So,
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know that because I know
Thank
you have
you.
trouble finding some of the foods that
Mm.
you're using, and Publix does carry it.
Oh, I'm
So,
gonna have to go to Publix.
yeah,
Thank you.
I have for Publix, but they do have it in there. In fact,
That's
yesterday I had to go get some more water and I didn't want to go all the way to Whole Foods, so I went to Publix, which is very near my house, and it's a whole different energy. The energy is different in some of these stores right now. Like at Whole Foods, they have it taped off outside, and they're only allowing so many people in the store at one time, and they do have a guard at the door to let motion to you when you can go in. Publix doesn't have that, and I don't know about any of the other grocery stores if they have that in place. But there's a different consciousness among the stores. So yeah, that was interesting to notice that yesterday.
Claire Louise said, perhaps we could pray for all those animals that are tested so horrifically by mass food production all over the world. Absolutely.
Yes, and
Yeah.
thank you, Claire, for being with us this morning. Little
Oh,
girl would like to be added to the prayers for herself and her health.
yeah.
Absolutely. We'll do
And
that.
thank you, Deirdre. Thank you,
See,
sweetheart. You're so sweet.
did you see Christina's comment about keto?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, she's doing that to keep her diabetes under control without meds, but she wants to lessen her meat intake. Christina, check out bone broth. To me, that's a lifesaver for my diet to just be able to have that.
Yeah, that's Carol said she was wondering about bone broth, but didn't know if her vegetarian daughter would eat soups if she used it. All of my vegetarian friends won't eat bone broth. So that's my friends. They're most vegetarians, if they're strict. Now, see, that's just it. There's vegetarians, there's strict vegetarians, there's vegans. I'll tell you, when we do an event here, it is a challenge to meet everyone's dietary needs because virtually everyone that walks through the door has a different one. So,
Okay, well, oh my gosh, we're past the prayer time beginning,
uh,
but let's go ahead and just a few of these. Becky Beckner, we see yours.
and
Um,
Etta,
Etta, and let's keep Sally and Tony lifted up. Angie Taylor, thank you for being with us. Healing request for her beautiful friend Trini. Yes. Leanne, just mentioning you. I see your comments.
and people are using the sway test and the finger test, the kinesiology already. This is really cool. Yes.
Okay, so you all can continue to put your prayer requests in. I just scrolled through them so I can have those fresh in my mind as we go into our prayer time. And speaking of meditation, which is what we do, it's a prayer meditation. For any of you that are not familiar with how we do this show, the ending part of it is for us all to go into our hearts and lift up these prayer requests that you all just mentioned, or any others that you are holding in your heart, and to lift each other up. And we lift them up to the highest source that is, which I call God. You can call it whatever you want, doesn't matter what you call the creator, as long as you believe that there is this creator. That's where we go with our prayer requests. And also in meditation, there's a silent meditation at 10 o'clock this morning on Enlightened World, and so that will continue to lift up the energy when you do that and participate in that. So let's just settle in, bring our attention and our focus to our hearts this morning. I like to place my hand on my heart because that brings the focus right in there. Such a beautiful place to be. Just breathe in deeply. Feel that breath. Just envision that breath coming into your body, into your lungs. I like to take in enough air that I will be blowing up a balloon. That's a very deep breath into the lungs. Then relax it out. Let's do this slowly again. Breathing in slowly and adding in love or gratitude, care, compassion. Then relax out anything that's not serving us. Whatever it is that you're holding on to, just let it go right now. You don't need those lower vibration energies. Continue to breathe in. Let's do it a few more times. And as you breathe in, your thoughts can just drift away in little bubbles of light. Just do gratitude for everything about yourself. Gratitude for the breath, gratitude for thoughts, gratitude for the compassion that you feel for others as you read or listened to those prayer requests being spoken. Feel into that energy. Let's place gratitude first over all those prayer requests. Let's be grateful for each one being seen. word as we lift it up. Let's give gratitude to each other. Grateful for this group that has developed and that has come together in a beautiful way. Came together as a desire to share love with each other, and we continue to do that every morning as we gather. Now let's ask the angels to surround us today. Ooh, calling in Archangel Raphael for anyone that needs that healing touch. We're asking Raphael to go to them, whether it was someone placed in the circle or one of us, all of us that are gathered together. Let's invite Archangel Raphael to touch our lives, touch our hearts, touch wherever is needed in our bodies, in our minds, in our souls for healing. Let's invite Archangel Michael to come to this group to hold us in a blanket of safety and security. And Archangel Gabriel, we ask for clarity. We ask to be able to make informed decisions. Let our choices be from what we're feeling inside is resonating with us and not from any pressure from anything on the outside. And then we invite Archangel Uriel to help us to go into that transformation, that shift in energy as we ground into Mother Earth and stay balanced as we go forth. And I'd like to focus our energy today on our Earth. Let's really look at Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, all the inhabitants that are on Mother Earth, that walk on this ground, that breathe this air. Let's see each person in their beauty, their miraculous body that they're in, that looks different from every other body, but inside, they're all the same. We are all part of the oneness. We're all connected in the universal consciousness. So let's see each other, everyone on the planet, no matter where you are, no matter the color of your skin, or how you speak your words, or what cultural things go on in your life. Let's see each person as us. I am you and you are me. We are the same. So let's hold that vision for just a moment. Let's hold the vision of the oneness of all. Let's see a world where there's respect and honor among each other, where we want only peace and love in the earth. And let's hold that vision up to God. Let's ask God, our Creator, to look over earth, to put a blanket of peace over earth. We ask Archangel Gabriel to help each of us to see with our spiritual eyes, to see each other in that light. Let's lift up our children and our children's children, our future generations, and ask for them to have clarity of mind as they interact with each other, to see each other with the eyes of an innocent child, the child that doesn't know anything about hatred or racism or separation. And let's all go back into that innocence of the child and look at everything with childlike wonder. And let's pray for the physical planet itself, lifting up Mother Gaia to be strong, to have strong roots going down in the earth, for our plants, our trees, everything in nature, the animals, the waterways. And let's give gratitude right now. Gratitude that we do have everything that we need on this planet to survive. And thank you. Thank you to God for hearing our prayers, especially for hearing this prayer. It is making a difference when we put our energy out there in a positive way. So we ask God to help us remember, to give us that reminder every day to be conscious, conscious of how we treat others, conscious of how we interact with others, conscious of what our desire is in the world. And then let's lift all of these requests for Mother Gaia, for all the prayer requests mentioned for each other. Let's lift them all up to God. And let's ask that each be seen in its own way, that God is taking those requests and that we don't have to carry that burden. We don't have to carry any attachment to the outcome of whatever it is we're putting forth, because we have faith and we have belief that each one is answered as God sees them. We don't know the big picture. We don't know what's coming for any of these individuals that we're lifting up. And we don't have to. We just know that we're connected in the oneness. So we want the very best for each of us on our path, whatever that looks like. So feel that release in your heart now that you've let go. We let go. The old saying, let go and let God. So let's bring that love back in. Bring it back into your heart. Fill it back up again. Now that you've poured out all that compassion and all that love, we're bringing in Kuan Yin to fill our hearts up again. Envision there's a big cup sitting right in the middle of your chest. And Kuan Yin is filling that with so much love and compassion that it overflows. And we're going to pull on that overflow. We're going to pull that love and we're going to share it with each other. And we're going to start with one person in our group. So just turn to that person that you envision sitting right beside of you and look at them and say, from your heart, from all of that love and compassion that is placed there, just say, I love you.
I love you.
Ooh, feel that. Feel that energy shift. How beautiful to send out that love. Each individual receiving and each individual giving. And now bring it back into your heart, right here in your heart, and feel it. Just let it be there. Just be with that love. And then take a deep breath in, and on the count of 3, we're going to say to the whole group, everybody gathered, we're going to say thank you. I love you. So 1, 2, 3.
Thank
Thank you.
you. I love you.
You. Ah, you all are so beautiful. Thank you.
It
Ah, what a great morning together.
really has been. What a
Yeah,
great
it's been a great
conversation.
discussion, great conversation. Thank you, Jeryl Ann,
Thank you,
for
Teri.
this conversation. The whole feel of the group today. It was just beautiful.
Yeah. So much on our minds these days, and So much transformation taking place and moving into this new world. And all of these conversations are first and foremost in our new world. So this is wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, just some reminders about what you can participate in today. Uh, at 9:30, Diana will take us to the playground. I haven't seen her on here this morning. Oh, there she is. Diana will take us to the playground with her beautiful energy. Diana, I just want to thank you so much for the show yesterday that you did, and it helped me a lot to get out of some low vibration energy that I had been in. So thank you for that, and it's beautiful for anyone who wants to come and participate. That is on EWN Enlightened Living. At 10 o'clock this morning on Enlightened World, we'll hold a silent meditation where Dr. Ruth Anderson, Deb Goldberg, and myself will sit and meditate together and then bring forth any messages that we get from that meditation. At 11 o'clock, we're doing the last of seven generation clearings and healings. We did this all week, and this will be the end one at 11 o'clock today. And at 5 o'clock today, we will debrief. We'll go in and talk about how that happened for us and what it looked like, anything we released, anything that you want to share and bring forth the process of that. And then at 1 o'clock today is a master class that I'm teaching on increasing your intuition and all of your clairs that we have access to. We all have the same access to them, but once we know how we can get into more in touch and increase all of them, then that helps us. Um, Education is power. The more you know, then the more you can work with that energy. So thank you all for being here. Jeryl Ann, I love you so much.
I love
Thank
you
you for
too.
being in my life and for doing this show with me every morning. It's such a blessing and a pleasure
It
to
is
come
my
on and do
pleasure.
this with you.
I just, everyone is so, this lifts me up. And I'm so grateful to each and every one of you because this is, what I just went through with Sam. It lifted us both up. Everyone out there lifted us up. The prayers. I know he's doing so well now because of each and every one of you. So this group is such a blessing. Thank you, Terry.
Absolutely. I just want to respond to Sherry Seymour. She couldn't find the seventh generation yesterday. It was on Enlightened World Network. That's where we're doing it every day, Sherry. So if you go to Enlightened World Network, you'll find this morning our silent meditation. And right after that, at 11 o'clock, will be the seventh generation. So hopefully you can tune into that. And I'll be putting the Zoom link if you want to come in with us on that, on the Zoom. I'll put that in the group, Angelic River Family Group, and also I know you're part of some of our messenger threads, so I'll put it in those as well. I
Okay.
love you all. I love you so much.
Bye. Have a beautiful day, everybody.
Yes, and as our Deirdre has already typed in, and we say it all together, right? Ready, Geraldine?
I'm ready.
All right. Namaste.
Namaste, y'all.
Bye,
Bye bye,
everybody.
everybody.